pressure. Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme, you know what I mean? Add the boy Breezie, Prince, like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure, the number one team. Let the world know what's your fantasy. What's going on? You already know what time it is. The What's Your Fantasy crew is here. It's your boy Breezie, the one and only Peachy's in the building. Peachy, how you doing on this Wednesday evening fantasy football episode? How you feeling?
I'm doing okay. I'm just trying to figure out what to do in my lineups because there's so many people that are either hurt or the teams are on a bye, and it's a little stressful to try to figure out how to get through this week right here. A lot of major injuries, all kinds of things like that. So just trying to figure it out. But I'm doing good.
Yeah, I share the same, sentiments, Peachy, because and guys, if you hear some sound going on for the background, don't be alarmed. I have a fantasy basketball draft going on right now because they decided to change the time on me and the date. So it's now, believe it or not. My first pick was Nikola Jokic. He was available. I was picked two, so that's my first pick. Since this is a fantasy show, might as well talk about it. But yeah, PG, fantasy football for me this year is just, I know it's early, but fantasy football is different than regular NFL. The
Yeah.
playoffs happen earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to be quicker to pull the
Yes.
draw, get your players, play the way. It's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed. I don't know if that's how you're feeling, but it's a
Yeah.
lot right now. So
Yeah. I've even like during the COVID year when, it was definitely fantasy was definitely challenging. Like this season, like it feels like that. Like I've never lost this much. Like the last time I lost this much was during the COVID season. It's like there's so
I feel you.
much that
I feel you.
I don't know, just navigating it's crazy. I'm actually excited about the NBA fantasy. It just gives me something new to like look at and think about. But knowing that I have to, come back to it, and everything to the NFL fantasy and try to figure out some things. But it gets kind of rough whenever you start having a lot of players that are out, especially significant players when they're missing or teams are on a bye at the same time. So you have all these different things going on. So it's definitely challenging.
It is. It is very challenging. But like this is what this show's all about, right? Not to hang our heads low. We're gonna try to figure out a way to bounce back. I mean, if you're 0-6, like right now,
It's kind of over for you if you're 0-6.
yeah, you might as well,
Right.
trade some
Definitely.
players, or you could be the butthole and hold on to those players. You know what
Uh,
I'm saying? Like,
and
yeah,
we have some of those that are in our league. So,
listen, I get it. Uh,
yeah.
Well, I do want to send a huge shout out to everybody out there that's tuned in live to the show. I see Miss Debbie's in here. Terrence is in here from the Breezy Bunch crew. Don't bother me. We see that you can't watch, but you were in here early. We're going to address your measures. And guys, if you have fantasy football questions, we do want you to ask those questions. We're going to star them. We're going to save them for the Q&A portion of the show. We promise we'll get to you. So just stick around. All right. We promise we're not ignoring you. We just want to get through the preface of the show so we can get on to our other things. All right, we got a lot of things that's going on, and so thank y'all again for tuning in. Peachy, let's go ahead and get right down to it. How did I leave the screen? That's crazy. All right, let's go ahead and get right down to it. Again, welcome to What's Your Fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you like, don't forget to comment, and make sure if you're new to this channel, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. I was about to
Yeah.
say subscribe. I can't even say subscribe right. Click that subscribe button. All right, you don't want to miss an episode. Make sure you're draft. So while I'm about to draft, Peachy's going to welcome back a couple of players that haven't played one game in the NFL. They're
Yes.
on their teams. Go ahead, Peachy, take us away.
Okay. What I wanted to add to that for subscribers, a lot of you are more like our family now. So why don't you go ahead and get up on that Breezy's bunch. All you have to do is just hit that join button right there and join whichever level that you want to join at and check it out. There's some great things that we have coming for the Breezy's bunch. So if you want to sign up to be a member, then you can do that today. And that would be fun. So we are welcoming back Kyler Murray, quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, and Jalen Ramsey, cornerback for the Dolphins. As you guys know, they both were out for a long time. Both were scheduled to not return quite so fast. So the fact that they're able to go ahead and make their returns now, they're not playing this week. They are just the 21-day period is open. So looks like that Jalen may come back in a few weeks. Kyler maybe next week, because I guess he's trying to come back next week. So if you stashed Kyler or Jalen on your rosters, those that use the defense that have the IDP format, then definitely pull Jalen off. All the squads do not have the IR off of them yet because some of them are extremely slow, and it's not the league manager. It's not them. it's like NFL.com. It's ESPN, it's Sleeper. It's all these different ones. They do that. So if it's not off yet, but you have them on IR, don't worry. They'll probably have them off like first thing in the morning, so that that designation is gone. That's definitely what we need to pay attention to on your IR. Also, if you didn't know, if you have them on IR and you don't have any space on your bench, more than likely you're going to have to remove someone from your bench, pull them off of IR to the bench before you can move them up. If you want to, if you have someone on IR that is going to remain there for the whole season, and you want to drop them, you have to do the same exact thing, which sucks because if you like everyone that you have on your team, on the bench and in your starting lineup, in order for you to drop someone that is in IR in most platforms, then you have to move them up and drop somebody. So that sucks. Breezy just ran into that where he had to do that too, where he had to make that decision.
I hope I get them back. I probably won't, but I'm hoping that I do.
But so that's a pain, but that's what you have to do. So it works both ways for each one of them. Before you can move someone up from IR to be able to put them in play, you have to have a free spot on your bench. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. But I am happy. I mean, all right. So Kyler Murray is practicing today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's gonna play this week?
No.
No.
Mm-mm. No, the team already said that he's not playing this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Nope, he's not. Probably next week.
Okay. All right. So Kyler Murray
probably next week. Yeah.
Play some football. That could be really good for football. So
it could be,
especially the Arizona Cardinals. But I thought that they were gonna potentially try to tank or something. Like I thought that they weren't gonna try to whatever.
And I still have a feeling that they're still going to lean that way.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they had all but said, that they're probably going to try to see what that number one pick would bring.
Mm-hmm.
But with Carolina, in the state that they're in and them not trying to get any better and them probably having a fire sale, well, they're definitely having a fire sale. But if they, keep getting rid of these players that are significant to their team, then Carolina is definitely trying to be that one. So,
okay.
I just think so, yeah.
And, I don't think Jalen Ramsey's going to play for the Dolphins this week, but if they get him back, their defense goes from, I would say, mid-tier to what? How does that help people in fantasy? Does that make people want to pick up that Dolphins defense again, or?
I think that they would have more people that would, because I think people are now realizing how significant that loss was that they weren't expecting in their secondary.
Okay.
So that definitely changes that defense.
All right. Just thought I'd throw those
Yeah.
out there. Let's go with
Mm-hmm.
the week 7 teams that are on bye. We got 6 teams on the bye: the Carolina Panthers, Houston Texans, Tennessee Titans, New York Jets, the Cowboys, and the Bengals. All right, they are on their bye week. So if you have
Yep.
any of these players out here, look, good luck.
That's um we have been spoiled for the last couple of weeks. We'd only had two teams at a time. Now is when the real legit bye week start.
Ah,
When you have a bunch of teams
there
that
we go.
are
Six
that are
teams, Peachy.
yep.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny you said now it's the time where you, so this is where your general managing really
Yes.
kicks in. Don't bother me. Who was here early said, "Good afternoon. I probably missed a live. I just want to share. I have a fantasy football nightmare, and I'm glad he brought this up. Pollard on the bye. Kyron Williams out. We're gonna talk about injuries next. CMC possibly out. We're gonna talk about injuries next. He picked up Jordan Mason, which I thought was a smart pickup, and
Mm-hmm.
then Ingram for a mere measures. Peachy, if these players are injured, who would you pick up for CMC? Would you get Mason or would you try to get Elijah Mitchell? Get both? What are your thoughts on that?
I would get Mason. I think we brought Mason up on the last show. If I'm not mistaken, I had him on the waiver wire because you always want to make sure that you have the backup in case something happens. And then lo and behold, something happens to Christian McCaffrey. And so it would definitely be Mason for me. I feel like that the 49ers would like if McCaffrey doesn't play, I feel like that it's going to be Mason.
All right, they already made it clear that I believe that if McCaffrey doesn't play, Elijah Mitchell will get the start.
Mhm.
So it's to your own. Like you have to decide. Like, do you want the bulk of the carries with Elijah Mitchell and see if
Right.
you break one, or do you want the limited amount of carries, maybe the least amount of yards, but possibly a touchdown? So you got to play with it. None of those two running backs are going to give you CMC numbers.
Right.
But it's possible because if Mitchell does start, which I believe if he's the guy that's going to start, if he does start, then it's a possibility that that Elijah Mitchell, who plays very well against the Minnesota Vikings, has a big game fantasy wise. It's possible. So we have to sit back and see how that pans out. But Peachy's gonna go with the hot hand in Mason, and I'm gonna go with the cold hand and and Elijah Mitchell. But definitely
Yeah.
you want to make sure you pick one of them up. And it's good that you get one of those guys because the good thing is if CMC is inactive Monday night, if one of those snatch them suckers up real quick. All right. You got to get them real quick. All right. You don't want to miss out on potentially, having someone like that. Hey, Peachy, how long will John Morant be suspended?
25 games if I'm not mistaken.
All right, he's gonna be on my bench. I ain't stupid. I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid. Big difference. Pick them up right now in this round. All right, here we go. Um, let's keep it moving. I thought that was a good thing. Peach, if you see any comments that's worth
Yeah, got it.
starring, go ahead and star. Andre says Mason is the get. Mitchell cannot stay healthy. Yeah, I mean that's what they want us to believe, but I just saying I don't think Mason will start. I think Mason remains the spell back. He does have pass protection issues. I think you put out there the guy that's going to protect your quarterback first and foremost. So Peachy might be right. He might get some carries and get you into the end zone. So
Right.
you end up finishing with about
Yeah.
10 points.
Can I say this though, Breezy? Since Mitchell has been back, of course, he's not been out there very much, so
True.
we never know what might happen. But it seems like that as far as like with our offense and the running back who's out there, says that Mason's able to move better.
They're different types of running backs. So
I know that.
but so what do you mean by move better? Because they run different. So one's gonna hit the hole harder than the other one because the other one
Right.
is an outside runner. So if you're not running outside with Mitchell,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna struggle running inside. But if you run outside with Mason, he's gonna struggle. So you run inside. So like it depends. It depends on. It's like pick your poison. Like that's why I said like they're different, but they both can be effective. The only thing I see from Mitchell as far as his like the downplay to Elijah Mitchell is that he just hasn't played much football in the past year or so. So it's
Right.
going to take him a second. Whereas Jordan Mason is geared up, he's ready to go. So if you want to hit that hole, he's going to get you. He has the burst through to get to the hole. A lot of people like that. Remember, oh my God, what was the 49ers running back? Trey Sermon. Remember how he used to be hesitant? I'm not saying Mitchell is hesitant. It's just that Mitchell's trying to get to the outside. By the time he gets to that portion to where he's going to try to cut to the outside, they're in the
Mm-hmm.
backfield. So that's why he looks bad. Whereas Mason isn't. Mason is in, out, right? And Mitchell is trying to go out and then cut back between the two. I think they have two different running styles. They're two different types of running backs. And I think that's why you see such a weird, it's not fluid like how you
Right.
think it should be, which you would think it would be, but it's just not. If
Well,
that's
there's someone who agrees with you right
really,
there. That Mitchell just got back to practice last Wednesday, which was why he looked rusty. He'll get a lot of snaps in practice all week. He lost 60-40 over Mason. There you go.
yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a huge difference, but if you're talking fantasy football,
Mm-hmm.
it's tough because one has been productive, one hasn't. So I can understand if you go Mason. I'm just saying, don't make the mistake. And then Mason gets 5 touches for 30 yards and no points, and Mitchell gets
Right.
20 touches for 100 yards
Yeah.
and a touchdown. Like, I just don't want y'all to feel bad. We're not trying to give you information. It's just pick your poison.
Right.
That's why there's only one running back I would ever draft from the 49ers, and that's Christian McCaffrey. But since he's dealing with injury, like these guys might not even be available. So that's why I'm saying, Peachy, they better go try to get him now.
Yeah.
Like go get him, put him on the bench, have him now,
Mm-hmm.
call it a day, right? Like
Yeah. That's true.
that's just me. Like, cause
Mm-hmm.
come Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna wish you did if McCaffrey doesn't start or is inactive, and next thing you know, those two guys are gonna be gone. So
Yeah. Gotcha. All
they're gonna
right.
be gone. All right, guys, we appreciate the flow that's going on in the chat. Peachy
Yeah.
holding it down. We're gonna get to more
We
stuff, I
love it
promise.
too. Absolutely.
Um, let's go ahead and get to the injury report. We do want to talk about some of these injuries. There are plenty of them. I'll start with the first one. Peachy can take it from here. Anthony Richardson, Colts quarterback, that was put on the IR, has been shut down for the season. So a season-ending IR. Peachy already explained what I had to do in my league. I
Mm-hmm.
put him on the IR, but then I'm like, dang, the only way I could drop him is if I cut somebody and then put him to the bench, cut him, and then I can't pick back the person that I dropped because now they on the waiver.
Yep.
Ooh, it was so tough and rough, Peachy. But let us know about all the other injuries that are going on and what you have in your notes.
Okay, so what we have is Kyron Williams from the Rams is out for a few weeks. They're not decided if they're going to put him on IR yet or not. But there's a couple of subs in there that you guys need to look at for the Rams because he is going to be out for a few weeks. If you have him, Trevor Lawrence was limited. He's going to try to go Thursday, but always keep an eye on those, especially when they're Thursday games, to see whether he's able to go or not. Chris Olave, Jamal Williams were both limited. Just again, keep an eye on those because some of them could just be precautionary. Just trying to make sure that they're good to go. Devontae Smith has a hamstring. Deshaun Watson has the shoulder. And then you have Ramondre Stevenson that has an ankle injury that they're keeping an eye on. Hunter Henry, this just popped up. So that is
No,
a
not
massive concern.
again.
Anytime on Wednesday's practice that you see something and it says that this is new, that it's a new injury or it just popped up, is usually not a good sign on a Wednesday. So this ankle has popped up for Hunter Henry. So you might want to look for you another tight end. Demario Douglas is he was in concussion protocol. They're going to try to see if they can get him out of it before the game. And then David Montgomery, of course, he's out for a couple of weeks with some ribs. So definitely get Jahmyr Gibbs. If you don't already have Jahmyr Gibbs, then you're probably not going to be able to get him. But He's gonna be good. I cannot remember the other running back from Detroit that they were talking about getting, as well as Gibbs. It'd probably be a good one. I probably need to know that. But those are the main, like, some of the main injuries that we have. The other injuries that we've had before is just keeping an eye on those, a little bit, and make sure that you just check like all the reports. Don't be one of these people that just put your lineup together on Tuesday or Wednesday and then just forgets about it. So whatever, because you can't do that with this league because you never know what is going to happen.
That is true. That is true. That is 100% true.
Yep.
I'm, I could be a victim of that. But look, like you said, it's tough, right? These injuries are tough, and you gotta pay attention to the smallest thing. I try to play to the matchups. Look, I there's a lot of players that just aren't getting it in this particular season in fantasy football for whatever the measures are. But pay attention to these injuries. Some of these guys will be back going strong. That Devontae Smith one is it's weird because is that the reason why he's been struggling? I don't know. Or performing such as a low number? Has he been dealing with this hamstring? Is that the reason why they went out and signed Julio Jones? It seems like all the puzzle pieces
Right.
are starting to come together.
Right. And not to mention,
Cool.
another thing as far as that goes is the uh the fact that his targets has changed ever since AJ Brown got upset,
So that was it.
and all of a sudden it's just AJ all day, and and Devontae Smith is just out there, and now there's rumors that he's a little irritated. And then somebody said, I think it was yesterday to me, no, it wasn't my son, I think it was somebody else that said that he thinks that Jalen is out there making these mistakes he's making, trying to please these receivers. Do you remember in
Yeah.
Cleveland when Odell was there and
Yes.
Baker was trying so hard to get to him that he was making like all these mistakes because he was trying to make him happy. And then once Odell wasn't there, then Baker changed. And, when he was able to distribute the ball out to all the, other receivers and all that, that's what they think that is going on in Philly right now with Jalen Hurts and these receivers.
It's a strong possibility. Whatever it is, Jalen Hurts doesn't look comfortable.
No, he doesn't.
So I don't know if it's play calling, if it's
Mm-hmm.
that, but if he's a leader, he need to be the leader. He can tell those wide receivers to shut the front
Not,
door.
I mean, that's what I think. It's like if you're, if you're the leader, just like you said, you're a captain. Like you can tell them, look, this is how it's gonna be. I'm gonna do like I always do, and that's it. So if I can get you open, then that's fine. But if not, I mean, it's just crazy. All I know is AJ Brown threw a temper tantrum, and next thing you know, then all the targets are going to AJ Brown. So
I ain't heard Devontae Smith name till now. He appearing on this injury report as we speak. Like literally, he's been ghosted out
yeah.
with Philly. So they need to get that together if Philly wants, And then now you're adding in Julio Jones. It's crazy. All right, I tell you what, we're gonna go through the top 10 scoring leaders from your
One
standard.
second though. This is very, very important. I forgot about this. I'm so sorry. I'm a little out of it, kind of under the weather a little bit. Sam Laporta has now
Yeah,
been put in the questionable status with a calf.
yeah, but he was questionable last week and he played.
And they
So
did, well, according to Fantasy Pros, they said that it is something to keep an eye on.
oh, for sure.
So let's
But
make
he played.
sure that, yeah.
He had the injury last week and
Yeah,
he
he did.
played, got you 6 points, but that was due to by design of what they were able to take the top off the field with Jameson. So
Yeah.
it's just a different game plan. So I'm wondering how much. I don't think the injury is affecting Sam Laporta as much because he played last
Mm-hmm.
week, unless it flared up and it's
Got you.
crazy. But like I said, he was
Yeah.
on the report last week. I didn't think he was going to play last week.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up playing last week. He's on the report again, as he's probably going to be on the report every week. The moment they added Jameson back into the equation, you just gave Jared Goff a deep weapon down the field. Oh my god!
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
So it kind of changed up how they use their tight end. So we'll
Yeah.
see. we'll see how it works. We'll see how it pans out. It's possible like that teams try to take him out. I mean, he's a weapon, so we'll
Mm-hmm.
see what happens. But definitely pay attention to him. He is on the injury report. And don't forget, in Green Bay, they picked up James Robinson.
Yes.
If he's available, you
Mm-hmm.
might want to pick him up.
Yes, definitely.
All right. You might
Yep.
want to pick up James Robinson. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So let's go through these leaders. Peachy, unfortunately, I got to get rid of the dope overlay that we have. All right. So you got your
Mm-hmm.
top 10 and standard, half, and then PPR. Raheem Mostert, Peachy, is the best running back right now in the NFL.
Yep.
Damn.
I know.
Just 2 weeks ago was Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
I think Raheem Mostert has 11 touchdowns to McCaffrey's 9.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if he has more yards than McCaffrey, but he's balling. And let me ask you this. We're 49er fans, right? Do you think Kyle Shanahan is slapping himself in the face?
I'm quite sure it is.
Dang. I mean, he wasn't even good until he became a Niner.
Right.
I don't know. I
He
don't know.
wasn't good until he became a Niner, and this speed is just like, I know we should, be like used to Mostert speed because he's fantastic, but man, he
Man.
just seems like he's gotten faster. I mean, that dude right there can get, like, for real. Like, that's crazy. He just seems like he's gotten faster. It's insane. I do miss him. I miss Mostert a whole lot.
A lot
So
of people feel like he's benefiting from the track team, but it doesn't matter. He's producing.
yeah, but if we had Mostert on the 49ers right now, I mean,
You He would be benefiting from 8
right,
weapons
right.
that we got, right?
He'd be benefiting from
So
when he's around there too.
49er fans wouldn't care, right?
No.
7 touchdowns? Please. Nah, but seriously, he's
Uh,
balling out right now. Raheem Mostert
yes.
is number
Especially
one.
with Achan being out. Then he has, a bigger opportunity,
Yeah.
more
His only question mark
more
is,
chances.
can he stay healthy?
Right. Can he get through it? Yep.
Yeah. So going into week 7,
We'll
this is
see.
where things kind of like tend. This is where things tend to change, Peachy, just a little bit. But 31.2 points in standard, 32.7 in half PPR, and 34.2 in full PPR. Do you see Dak Prescott's name up there for number 2 in the standard league?
Mm-hmm. I
Wow, I
do.
like this that we got them all side by side by side.
Mm-hmm.
So
Me
Dak
too.
Prescott in your standard was number 2. Tyreek Hill was number 2 in your half, but Amon-Ra St. Brown was number 2
Mm-hmm.
in your full PPR league. He had more touches. I like
Yep.
that. Jalen Hurts, even though we just talked bad about him, was number 3 in standard, 22.9. Dak
Mm-hmm.
Prescott number 3 in half, and then Adam Thielen,
Yep.
who has been heating up. And every time, every week, he stays on my bench, PG, because I'm scared to put him in. Do I just need to start the guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Adam Thielen is, I feel like that he's just that sure hands vet that Carolina is just going to keep out there no matter what, to be able to, produce out there. 100%. If you have Thielen, you start Thielen, and if Thielen is still available in anyone's thing, and you need a receiver, pick that dude up,
Get him.
because he has been,
Get
no
him.
matter what quarterback either. It doesn't matter
Sure.
which quarterback it was.
Get him.
He's just a sure. He's just a sure thing. He still has a lot left.
You know
So
what it is, Peachy? He's healthy.
right, exactly.
He's healthy.
Yep.
And he was a threat. He was a deep threat in Minnesota, and he is now the threat in Carolina. They just can't win games. They don't have
Right.
a run game,
Absolutely.
and they just can't win games. But he will feast. All right. Number 4, you got Tua Tagovailoa. Did I do it right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure you correct.
You
Okay,
did a good job.
thank you. Standard. And then number 4, Amon-Ra St. Brown in your half, and then Tyreek Hill 4 in your full PPR. Jared Goff number 5. Wow. Jared Goff number 5. Cooper Cup 5 and half, and Cooper Cup 5 in your full PPR. Number 6 was Tyreek Hill in standard. Thielen 6 in half, and Dak Prescott 6 in your PPR. Kyron Williams, won't be playing for the next several
Right.
weeks, but he was seventh in standard. Jalen Hurts was seventh in half PPR. Travis Etienne Jr. was seventh in full. The Minnesota Vikings defense. Wait a minute. The Minnesota Vikings defense balled out in week 6. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
They won't do it this week. I can tell
Mm-mm.
you right now, there's a
No.
vendetta on them cats. All right, look, 21 points in your standard league. Number 8 was Tua and half. Jalen Hurts 8 in your full. Cooper Cup 9 in standard. Jared Goff, same names. Tua 9 and full. Travis Etienne 10 in standard. Kyron Williams 10, and then Jared Goff 10. So these are your leaders for week 6. I
Yep.
think they're going to change because you got 6 teams not playing like Carolina. So you
Yep.
won't see Thielen up there,
Mm-hmm.
right? You won't see Kyron Williams up there. Who else is on the buy or that made this list? I think those are on Dak Prescott won't be
Yeah.
on this. Interesting. 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 All right, let's talk about like if you started this lineup, then you won every league if you had this lineup.
Right.
All right. Dak Prescott, 24.9 points. Adam Thielen, Raheem Mostert, Travis Kelsey, Travis Etienne, Justin Tucker, Amon-Ra St. Brown as your flex, and then that Vikings defense. PG, how many of these guys do you have in any of your lineups?
I have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Me too.
Kelsey, of course. I got Kelsey in almost every single one of mine.
Me too. I got
And Thielen in 2.
okay. So guess who was on my bench in this lineup?
Thielen.
Thielen, Prescott, and I think those are the only 2 on my bench.
Mm-hmm.
ETN started, St. Brown started,
Yeah.
didn't have the Vikings defense because they were terrible the week before, got rid of them. Justin Tucker, he's going to be in there whether he gets you 0 points or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey starts until he's on a bye. I don't have Raheem Mostert this year. I thought I
don't
told
either.
myself to stay away from him because of injury.
Yeah. I could slap myself for that one because I had an opportunity to get most of it and I didn't do it. But
I guess I played myself.
in any of them. So, do you think that ETN is now another sure bet to have in
I think
since
so,
he's
right?
healthy? You think that we can trust him enough to start him every week?
I don't think he's. I think he's always been pretty healthy. It's just, do you trust the Jacksonville Jaguars offense?
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's
the thing. I
it's
don't.
weird, right?
Yeah.
Like Trevor Lawrence should be caking. I feel like Trevor Lawrence should be putting up Justin Herbert type numbers, and he's just not.
Yeah.
And you got 1 week on with Calvin Ridley, 1 week off. Then you got like then just give the ball to Christian Kirk. Like he just been the most consistent wide receiver they've had. He was your number 1 guy last year.
Yep.
Don't make him number 2 because you got the guy I just mentioned that I can't, the Calvin Ridley. Don't make him number
Ridley.
2. So I just don't trust the offense, but yeah, I'm starting them every week now, PG. I said all that to
Okay.
say that I'm starting. Check out
Gotcha.
this imperfect lineup by the NFL Fantasy.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson,
This does not say I'm perfect, by the way. This says imperfect, which means this is a horrible lineup. That's why Breezie's showing it to you.
good job. Hey, how many of them did you have in your starting lineup?
Johnston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have him. Period.
Johnston. Yeah, I was just trying something new and said, oh, you know what? And Pierce.
Yeah.
I forgot about Pierce. That was kind of weird.
The thing is, Peachy, every time I bench him, he played well.
Right, exactly. That's what happens. Oh, and D Hop.
Oh, and remember he had
I have to remember I have like 12 leagues. I'm trying to remember D Hop. Yeah.
breakout fantasy game in week 5.
Yeah.
Week 6, he's a dud. Look who's a dud from the 49ers. I told y'all not to draft George Kittle. I tried to stay
right. We did. We told you that that's not a 49er that you want to draft because he spends more time blocking than he does doing anything else, such as this Browns game.
if I could, I would try to trade George Kittle to someone that needs a tight end.
Yes, I would too. He's just not consistent enough because of the way that we have to use him, and we use him a lot in the blocking schemes. So therefore, he's just not gonna be good for fantasy. He's just not.
Who would you trade other than Travis Kelsey? Who would you trade George Kittle for straight up? Tight end. Tight end to tight end. No, but not Kelsey. Kelsey's gonna cost too much.
I would actually try to get Sam Laporta.
Yeah, if you can find somebody dumb to do that, I would do it too.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
Yeah,
because I don't think they
Laporta.
understand
Yeah,
the value because they still look at him as a rookie. So hopefully they don't watch this show.
right.
So I would try that now. Like,
Yeah,
be like, hey, George Kittle, all pro, Sam
yeah. It
Laporta, rookie.
definitely.
Yeah.
Even if Kittle has one of the games like he had, with the touchdowns against Dallas, I get all that. That is such an anomaly for fantasy, though. I mean, Kittle spends more time blocking and doing other things than he does racking up fantasy points.
And like we said, you don't get any points for pancakes.
Right.
Right.
Nothing. Unfortunately, you don't get anything for those.
So check this out. I had Hopkins starting, Kittle starting, Jake Elliott starting, and Pierce starting. And they hurt me
Yeah.
badly. Hurt me badly. All right. And now, so some trade opportunities that have popped up, and people to trade for. If we can get Chris Olave, Calvin Ridley, Rashee Rice, rookie from Kansas City. Now, Peachy, we have to talk about, okay, the newest acquisition to the Kansas City
Oh,
Chiefs.
yeah.
And Peachy, you're a Patrick Mahomes owner, and so you should be celebrating because he's going to get a familiar face back
Yep.
in Cole Harmon. And so, how do you feel? Should Harmon be a pick that you pick up? We talked about getting James Robinson. If you're a Green Bay Packer, you need a running back. But Cole Harmon will be a Kansas City Chief again. They have a great rapport. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I actually like that move to pick up Mecole Hardman. So anyone who has Pat Mahomes, if you have a space, you probably need to try to grab Mecole Hardman because they had a connection which was really good, and that's why Pat Mahomes is just looking the way he's looking, because he doesn't have a connection with too many of the other wide receivers, and it makes it easier to bring in someone that he's already familiar with and someone who's familiar with that system to bring them back in and reunite them. So I think Hardman is going to be good for fantasy.
Now
Definitely.
they're recommending that you trade away Kendrick Bourne, which I
Mm-hmm.
agree. Deontay Johnson though is returning this week, right?
Yes.
And I know his rank is very low. Would you get rid of Deontay Johnson? Because he might be a sure thing for Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh
And I don't really
Steelers.
know what Pittsburgh is doing now.
Well, yeah.
That's the only problem,
I
with
mean,
that
George
is
Pickett gets the ball, so
right. I'm
now
not
he'll
really
have
sure
two
what they're
weapons
doing.
again.
Definitely. And it might make Kenny Pickett better, which is,
Ooh.
kind of what they're trying to do is they're hoping getting these people back with Deontay Johnson returning, then that should help.
And I think
I think
Muth is dealing with an injury, if I'm
yeah,
not mistaken.
that's right. Yes, it
Javante
is.
Williams, get rid of him.
Oh yeah, just ASAP. Just
Just get rid of him. I agree with that. If you can, try to trade him, and if nobody wants him, just get rid of him. Just get rid of him.
yeah, just drop him. He's not gonna be, what I'm saying. Apparently, um, I can't remember his name. The running back that Sean Payton just loves to death
Oh,
and wants to put the ball in his hands as much as possible.
Jaleel McLaughlin.
Yes, if you can pick him up, get him, because apparently that's who Sean Payton wants to have that ball.
He said, "Drop any Bronco."
I mean, at this point, it's probably right. But if you do need one and you can get McLaughlin, then get him, because that's who Sean Payton. I mean, when Sean Payton has someone that he's fond of, then that's what happens, and he talks about him in the presser and everything. So
I like this. We got a bunch of questions we got to get to. So
yeah,
let's finish up this little presentation.
okay.
Here, look, we started off the show talking about which players to pick up week 7 off the waiver wire. Here's who NFL.com recommends.
This
All
is
right.
funny.
This is what's so funny, Peachy.
No, it's just funny because both of our running backs are on top.
Just get them both. And matter of fact, if Christian
Let's get them
McCaffrey ain't
both.
playing, play them both. Like
Right.
at
Get
this
them
point, put
both.
one in the
Yeah.
flex, one at the running back spot, and hopefully you got another strong running back there. Um, you got Zach. I don't know his first name, Evans from the Rams because of the injury to Kyron Williams, and I believe Henderson went down to the practice squad. Darrell Henderson. So you're gonna
Yes.
want to get this kid, Rashawn Johnson. I'm confused. I don't know if he's injured or if he's gonna play. He's the rookie running back,
Right.
Chicago Bears. If not, stick with Deontay Foreman. I don't know. I just know Justin Fields probably 9 times out of 10 won't play on Sunday.
Right.
And so I just
And
don't
it's gonna
feel
be that
good. Yeah.
whatever his name is, Tyler Surgeon
Tyler
or
Tyson Badgett, I think that's his name.
Tyson Badgett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah, that's what
start
it is.
more. Don't start like bench
No.
those guys. Bench every bear.
Yeah.
Maybe Cole Komet. I don't know. Pick your poison. Just bench them. Bench the Bears like you bench the Broncos this week.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
just
Don't
just
play them. I wouldn't do it. I
yeah.
wouldn't do it. Rasheed Rice though has been a consistent target for Patrick Mahomes
Mhm.
in Kansas City. I think it's about time y'all stop sleeping on him. All right. Stop sleeping on Rasheed Rice.
I like
And
it.
here we go. Starts and sits of this week. Peachy, one guy you feel like you're gonna start, you gotta start. It's a must start. And one guy you feel like is a must sit. Must sit. Must sit.
Mm.
I'm sitting Jerry Judy. I don't think he should play anymore. He's gotta sit.
I don't think
Like
he should play anymore.
he because you don't clap back ever at the mentor that's just trying to see you succeed.
Yeah.
I've lost all respect for Jerry Judy, and I don't think he'll be on the Denver Broncos. He's not going to be good. So you might don't play him. That's my sit.
Yeah. Um I mean, you would still trying to think of a good start. Um Seattle is playing this week, right?
Seattle is playing this week.
I like Walker.
All right, Kenneth Walker the third.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
Walker this week.
I like that matchup. They're playing Arizona.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if Buda
definitely like
Baker's
that.
back off the IR or whatever he was on, but
Yeah, I like that one.
I like it too. I'm not even gonna stunt. Like they
You.
gotta be a good start. And you know what? He's been consistently good each and
Mhm.
every week.
He has been.
Yeah. So that's your
Yeah.
starts and sits, guys. Make sure you go ahead and do that. All
Oh
right.
yeah, and also start any running back against Denver because we know that Denver's defense is soft as tissue paper. So whatever running back you start for Green Bay will be successful against Broncos.
Whether it's AJ
It
Dillon,
doesn't matter if it's AJ, if it's James, if it's Aaron Jones. It don't matter.
just start the Green Bay Packers, period. Like I think they're gonna just
Right, all of them
tear
because Denver just
I think they're gonna tear
Denver.
Denver apart. All right, Peachy, we got a lot of questions
Okay, let's
and
roll.
things we want to get to. Leo Bolden says over on Facebook, Breezy, you think CMC or Debo plays on Monday? What do you think, Peachy?
I think they both play.
Yeah, me too. I think they both play.
I think that
Um,
they both play.
and I think we'll be beating their tails so much
Mm-hmm.
that they won't have to play
That they
long.
won't have right. So they'll. I think that they'll play. I think they'll be limited, but I think it'll only be because of what Breezy said because we're up by so much that Kyle can let him sit.
Rick Diaz hits us up with a question. Hey, Breezy, Breezy, what do you think about Monday night? Do you think the 49ers are going to beat Minnesota? What's your opinion? Peachy, what do you think?
Yeah, by a lot.
Yeah, I think getting embarrassed on
Yes.
national TV,
Mm-hmm.
not in a primetime spot, sent out a really good message to
Mm-hmm.
the players in the locker
Yeah.
room as well as the coaches. So
Yeah.
I think in primetime fashion, they beat down the team in primetime fashion.
Right.
Rick, thanks for tuning in. I think he's a Dolphins fan, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what else. He says Pickens, now in Cali. Boy, what's going on, fam? Pickens for Mason and Godwin. Trade Jacobs for Waller and Cook, and then traded OBJ and Gibbs for Purdy and Tucker. Wow. So he traded Pickens for Jordan Mason and Godwin. So he got two players for Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
He dealing here.
I
He
know.
traded Josh Jacobs for Waller and Cook. Okay. I don't like Waller. Waller's not good this year.
Right. Mm-mm.
But then he traded OBJ, who played one game, and he got rid of Gibbs, Peachy. But he ended up picking up the best kicker in football, I believe.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker is who he's talking about, and he got a nice, solid quarterback in Brock Purdy. So
Right.
I think he kind of won these trades. What are your thoughts?
I agree. Like you said, he's dealing. So, and that's just what you have to do about this time of year is when you should start doing that. You
I
should
should,
really start evaluating your team and you know
if,
just
if you can find the
doing
trade
good.
partner, right, Peachy,
Right.
you find somebody that's willing to make a trade, go
Yep.
for it. All the
Mm-hmm.
worst they can do is say reject.
That's right. The worst they can do is say no.
Yeah. Bing 102 YouTube says start sit PPR, two wide receivers, two running backs, one flex. He has Hall, he has Chase. So both and Teeth, they're on their buy. And Wilson on their buy. Oh my gosh. Woo! That was bad drafting. Oh, but running backs are Jacobs, Jerome Ford, JT, Rashawn White, Jonathan Taylor is JT. His wide receivers, Jackson Smith and Nigba and Jigba, excuse me, Christian Watson, Alave, and Godwin. So which wide receivers are you starting? Which two wide receivers are you starting? Let's start there.
Hmm. Man. Um. Christian Watson's definitely because they're playing Denver,
Okay.
so I would definitely go with them. Um. I forgot who the Jets are playing this week.
The Jets are off this week.
Okay, that's
So
right.
you have to pick between Alave, Godwin, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. You already picked Watson.
Got you. I think. Oh, 11. Wrong Buckeye. That's New Orleans. I got it now. um, I don't know who the Saints have. I would go with Olave though. I would go with Christian Watson and Olave if I was starting to. That's what I would go with.
I think Olave is nursing some type of weird ass injury.
Yeah, he is, but I think he's gonna play.
Oh, I think he plays.
Yeah,
I just don't know how productive he would be.
got
Like,
you.
I mean, you picked Christian Watson. I wasn't thinking of Christian Watson, but I was gonna go Olave and Godwin. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Baker and his receivers have a great rapport, so I'm gonna go Godwin. Now Baker's dealing with the injury too, so
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I forgot about that. It's yeah, a
It's
lot
crazy.
going on. Oh, that is Thursday night football. I forgot
Thursday
about
night is
that.
the
The
Saints and the
Saints play the
Jags.
Jags.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
Oh,
Jags are
okay.
dealing with a lot of injuries to their defense.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, not the
So
Jags, the Saints.
I still yeah.
I would go Olave and Godwin.
I
You're gonna go
yeah.
Watson and Olave. I think that's pretty good. Let's go with his running backs.
Okay.
I have no idea who Jonathan Taylor is anymore. Um, I would go Jacobs and Ford. That's who I would go with.
Um yeah, definitely Jacobs and Ford. I agree.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there you go. You got, and then we got to pick a flex. So who would be your flex? I think I would put Watson in the flex. You got him starting. Who's gonna go in your flex?
Then I would put God, you just never know with Jonathan Taylor. I can't stand the Colts.
Is it more because he's still not in football shape?
I hope so because man,
That's the only
I
thing that
still
makes
have
sense.
Taylor on my team.
I know, with me too.
I
But
just have to keep him on there because I'm like, just 1 week he's gonna he's gonna turn back into the same Jonathan Taylor he was before. But I don't know. I guess I would put Godwin in the flex. Yeah.
I could dig it. So we
Yep.
got the same players, they just in different spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just in
I
different
love it
spot.
a lot. Alberto Soto, would you guys drop Jamison Williams or Drake London for McCole Hardman? Hmm. Hardman hasn't played a snap this year, right?
I don't think so. And I'm not dropping Jamison Williams for nobody because that looks like that's gonna wind up being like a really good target for Goff. I mean, he was good. He was just good last week.
He had a big pass for a touchdown. Yep.
Yeah.
Finished, I
It
think,
doesn't take a
11.
lot if you have a big one,
But
so I would.
the targets, man, this is PPR, right? So that's one big one, one big touchdown, one big catch. He's not the target guy if it's PPR. McCole Harmon gonna get the touches.
Yeah,
That's
I guess
tough.
that's a good that's yeah.
I I what other receivers can you drop? I wouldn't drop Drake London. If anything, I would have to drop Williams. But do you really want Hardman? Like, that's the question you got to ask yourself.
Right.
How bad do you want Hardman?
Yeah.
If you want him that bad, Alberto, I would drop Williams and let somebody else take a shot at him, and maybe nobody wants him, and then you pick him back up at some point. But I'm curious to know who else you have. Brendan Pascarella says Josh Jacobs or Raheem Mostert. It's who you start. I like this segment. Start him and sit him. I like it.
I mean, for me, it's gonna be Mostert against that Miami defense because you can run on that Miami defense. I meant Eagles defense. Sorry, you can run on the Philly defense.
Oh, I would just start Raheem Mostert, period,
I
until he
think Mostert. I actually think that Mostert is going to wind up again having a good game. So I like it.
Okay. Let's keep it going. Just a random kid. Hey guys, is Collins for Aaron Jones is a good trade. So Collins. Who's Collins?
Nico Collins.
Y- y- Who are your other running backs?
Right.
And but yeah, it's a good trade because Aaron Jones isn't even playing.
Aaron Jones is and we don't know what Aaron Jones is going to be like this year because he's
Yeah.
just probably going to be in and out. And it just seems like that type of a year. So I would.
I would. I'm with you. Like
Yeah.
Nico Collins is having one of the best. He's
Yes.
having this career season right now.
Exactly. Yep.
They're on a bye week this week, but
Mm-hmm.
he's been consistently legit. Aaron Jones played one game, so
Yeah.
it's a no brainer for me.
Yeah.
I'm definitely making
Agree.
that trade.
I'm
Alex
with
Forrest
you.
says I was offered Josh Jacobs and Hawk for Bijan. Do I accept it? What do you think, Peachy? It's a 2-for-1
I know.
for Bijan Robinson.
It's so hard to give up Bijan though, man. Um, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it.
I think I would. And the reason why is because Josh Jacobs is going to start getting more production. And TJ Hawkinson is one of the top tight ends in the league. So you're gonna get double. Bijan has 0 touchdowns on this year. Like, that's confusing me. Like, he's that dope. He can break tackles, but guess what he can't do? Can't find his way into the end zone. So you're gonna get 10 points every week, and then if it's a PPR, he'll get you a couple of catches, a couple extra points. But you're really not getting. So let me. So if Bijan, I'm not saying he won't ever get into the end zone. I'm just saying if Bijan is getting you 12 points a week, but Josh Jacobs is giving you 12, and Hawk is giving you 12. I mean, 24. is greater than 12, and you wash away Bijan for this season. If it's not a keepers league, you draft him next year.
Gotcha.
The thing is about winning now. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like how I would go. I don't want to let go of Bijan Robinson in my leagues, but it depends on who it's for. I like those two pieces. You're taking a slight step back with Josh Jacobs, but we know he could take over a game. I just don't understand the Raiders' offense right now,
Mm-mm.
and I
Yeah.
don't think that they just need to let Aiden O'Connor just play. Just let
I
him play.
know
Let
they
him be the
really
quarterback.
do. Yeah.
Like
You're
let
right.
Jimmy go. Let him go get rested and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Yep.
Call it a day. That's
Let him
just
go.
that's how I'm thinking. All right. But thank you for the comment. We appreciate it. We got one more on the Stardom Cinema segment. Half PPR 10-man league. I didn't even know people play half PPR. I'm glad we give half PPR results. You're gonna have to help me with this. You ready? I got Hertz. AJB is
AJ
who
Brown.
AJ Brown, Lamb, Stevenson, Taylor, Swift. Did you do that on purpose?
You know they did.
Did you do that on purpose?
You know they did.
Well, maybe we can get some of Taylor Swift numbers on this episode. Mark Andrews, Brees Hall, DJ Moore, London, Pittman. You got a squad mixing. What's
Yeah.
ENG Ram? What is that?
Ingram. That's your
Oh,
dude.
yeah, the tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Who I would trade straight up
Evan
for George
Ingram.
Kittle. I never really got into that. I thought Ingram was spelled with the I. That's why I didn't know.
Mm-mm. It's
Fields,
spelled like that.
Deontay Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming off the IR.
Yeah, he is coming off the aisle. Yeah.
He said, just traded Justin Fields for T. Higgins. How did I do?
No.
That's tough, man.
Yeah.
I want to say you did good. And you're right. That is how you spell Ingram. I want to say you did good because every time I started Justin Fields, he was trash. And the one I didn't start him for 2 weeks, he was the best quarterback, fantasy football quarterback. And then I was like, you know what? I would be an idiot for not starting him again, Peachy. And guess what happened? He got hurt.
Yep.
He got
I
me
know.
4 points. I lost one of my leagues 112.10 to 112.2 because Justin Fields got me 4 points. If he could have just got me 5 points, I would have won. I
Yeah.
don't, I have so many mixed emotions about Justin Fields. So I'm gonna give you a mother freaking A. That's what you're getting. A on the train. Can't figure out Justin Fields. Peachy, what do you think?
Yeah, it's fine. Fields has got the thumb now, and we don't know what's going to happen. If this other quarterback comes out and does what all these people are hyping him up, that he's got the measurables, he's got this, got that, got this. I mean, who knows? We might be hearing some rumors about trade. Who knows? They don't even know if Chicago even likes Justin Fields anymore. I don't
Really?
know. I'm just giving up on him.
I'm not
I'm
giving up on
just
Justin Fields.
I'm giving up on him.
Just
It's just a
in
mess.
fantasy football, this ain't the season for him. For
Yeah,
me.
it's just
For
not.
me,
It's
it's
just not his season.
not.
So
Yeah. They gotta figure that the Bears gotta figure out that turmoil that's going
I
on.
know they do, and I just don't think it's gonna happen this season. So we'll check back next season.
All right, 420 Savage. We got some 49er comments we want to get to. Purdy is
Yeah.
elite. Read it and weep it. High five. You know, like Peachy, I got so much flack for critiquing. Well, not yeah, I did critique Brock Purdy, but for saying that he was the worst player on the football field because he was until the end when he got a penalty call and then he made a play
Hmm.
and got the team into scoring position. I don't think anybody watched the game that they didn't see it that way, but I still feel like he's elite. He just didn't have an elite performance that week. I still feel like Purdy is going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks the 49ers have ever had. And I still think Brock Purdy's moxie is one of the greatest in the NFL. And I think he takes that game on the chin. He comes back, he gathers his troops, and he lets his team know we are never losing like this again. That's
Gotcha.
elite to me. That's that mindset. I think that's what it is for me. His mindset is elite, and for me, I just see him in that type of a category. But even the best of the best struggle week in, week out. So
Right.
Brock Purdy. Delvin Thomas says, sorry for just joining. But I've got to be honest, it hurts knowing that no team in the NFL stopped our undefeated streak, but the refs did. Very hard pill to swallow, just saying. And it is. I mean, my issue with the refs will always be the same. I just wish that the Niners did more to not put themselves in that predicament. So if the refs still want to be silly, they find a way to overcome that. But the Niners did put themselves, they did miss opportunities with or without the refs, and that was my biggest issue. Like the penalties were terrible, but it is what it is. I think that the 49ers will be just fine moving forward, honestly. As far as fantasy, I wouldn't start Debo this week. If Christian McCaffrey plays, you automatically put him in your lineup.
Yeah.
Peachy, don't you feel like George Kittle's gonna have a great week this week?
Yep. It is tight end day Sunday. The Niners don't play Sunday, so George Kittle's tight end day will be Monday
Monday.
on prime time.
So he
Monday
gets
Night Football.
Wait a minute, Peachy. You forgot something.
Mm.
Monday might be the battle of the tight ends from Iowa. Kittle versus
Oh,
Hawkinson.
yeah.
Matchup. Matchup face off Friday is coming. No harm, no foul. I can tell you right now, that's going to be the matchup. Which tight end
I like that.
will prevail?
I'm putting in the
Kittle.
notes. I got it.
Woo-wee, baby. Listen, start
Yeah.
them both in your lineups. If you have Kittle, this is the week you're going to want to start them. Their secondary is to terrible. Terrible. I can't even say the word terrible. Their secondary is terrible. If Kyle Shanahan doesn't find a way to allow Brock Purdy to take advantage of the middle of that field, then maybe we have to sit and have a real adult conversation about Kyle Shanahan. But I think Brock Purdy rebounds, and Monday Night Football is going to be too legit to quit. I'm expecting a blowout. I don't care what
Oh,
anybody.
yeah, definitely. Definitely a blowout.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
enjoy. Peachy, any final thoughts before we dip up out of here?
Final thoughts. Something I want to say is thank you to everyone who joined us for the show. Saw some new people and saw my girl Mariah peep her head in here. So we appreciate that. That's our sister and we love her to death. So I'm glad that she was able to make it. All of the Breezy's Bunch members in here. I love seeing that beautiful green as always. So thank you. I'd like to see more of that green. So if you want to join in that lovely pack of green, then all you have to do is just hit the join button outside that, decide which one suits you, and become a member of the Breezy's Bunch. Like I said, we have a lot of stuff going on right here. We're trying that. We're on our way to 5K for the subscribers, and we appreciate each and every one of you for contributing to that. We'll be hitting that soon, we hope. And in the meantime, just we got shows, of course, coming. Friday will be with Breezy with Wayne and John. We'll be doing their show. Then No Harm, No Foul, which is every afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time without fail. With none but Niners Mike. And then Sunday we may do something with the red zone on because the 49ers do not play until Monday night.
Yeah.
I
gotta work Sunday, so Peachy would be doing it, but I didn't realize I had to work all day Sunday. I'm kind of upset about it. I never get a break. But Sunday night might be the Madden challenge. So that'll be something fun to watch.
That'll be awesome.
That'd be
I forgot about the Madden challenge. We definitely got to do the Madden challenge.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to What's Your Fantasy. We'll see you back next week, man, where we will be talking about who sucked and who was good. That's what we do. Have a good old time. And we love to hear y'all questions, who to start, who to sit. Keep those coming. That's the best part of the show. Honestly. Yep. Everything else is fluff or nutter. That's the best part. We love y'all. Stay up, y'all. Peace out. Ain't not ready. Hey, Look, ruining dreams under pressure. Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme, you know what I mean? Add the boy Breezie, Prince, like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure, the #1 team. Let the world know what's your fantasy.